man may not be on the top of his form, but he can still make himself useful.
Spatchcock Nation, we are here to honor one of the big legends and icons and influences in the spatchcock funk life. That's the great Anthony Bourdain. So we are going to make his clam chowder today, but ironically enough, that dude probably would have hated this show, at least early in his career. Later on, he became a little more accepting, but the way he adventured, the way he cooked, used simple ingredients, man, and his clam chowder, it's the best clam chowder in the world. He learned it grinding in Provincetown, Massachusetts. You're about to chow down on Anthony Bourdain's clam chowder. Now, Mr. Bourdain really loved using simple ingredients, not going out of control, not overspicing things. So we've got 2 Yukon Gold potatoes, skinned, diced, 2 Spanish onions, diced, 1/2 pound of salt pork instead of bacon, right? This renders more fat, gets you a little bit more flavor, a little more saltiness. The standard salt and pepper. We're gonna use a little clarified butter. We're gonna clarify it up for you. Milk, cream, quahogs, aka little necks. The perfect clam for this, the perfect balance, and then pilot crackers. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna cook the clams. Now make sure you scrub them, and we're gonna basically put them into a pan with a 1/2 cup of water, about a dozen at a time, and then carefully move them with tongs onto a sheet, let them cool, but all the dripping, save that in the bottom of your cookie sheet. Got some clams going. Meanwhile, in a big old Dutch oven, we are going to take our salt pork and we're gonna heat it over medium heat until it starts rendering the fat. But to keep it from browning, after it starts getting warm, you're gonna throw in a couple tablespoons of water. But you're gonna stir it occasionally until we start to see the fat render in the bottom of the pan. Oh yeah, all this fat has rendered. There's at least a 1/4 inch of this beautiful pork fat in here. So we're gonna take our 2 Spanish onions that are diced up. We're gonna add them into the pot and stir it so you coat it, all of it with that pork fat. So all of the onions are coated in that fat. And then once they're coated, what we want you to do, according to the man's recipe, is season them with cracked black pepper and salt. Yeah, now we've got our onions are clear, translucent, not brown. So we're gonna add in those 2 skinned and diced Yukon potatoes, right? Add those in there, stir that around too, and then add water until the potatoes are just covered. Then you're gonna let it boil for 10 to 12 minutes till they're soft, and then we're good to go. Then we'll move on. Now we've got our clams cooling off on a cookie sheet. Once they're cooling off the touch, put them into a bowl, right? And we want to kind of catch some of that liqueur, the clam liquor out of there, the clam juice. So just set those aside. So you can have a whole bowl full of it with some of the juice in there as well. If you want, which we're gonna do, is you can even add a ladle full of some of the broth from the steam. That's all you gotta do. So just do that and you're good. Now we've got the potatoes, everything's just coming together. I'm just so excited, so beautiful. So we're gonna make a slurry to kind of cream stuff out a little bit. So we have 3 tablespoons of whole milk and 2 tablespoons of flour. We're gonna put those together, whisk them, and that's gonna become a slurry, all right? So we're gonna add that, and the slurry adds a little bit of depth and creaminess to this without getting too watery, and really balances out some of the flavors that are in there. So once you've got that in there and it's pretty good and creamy, add it in to your soup, and then give that a stir all around so it's evenly throughout it. Then once that's happened, what we're gonna do is the beautiful clams that we set out before, and their clam juice, a little of the clam liquor right there, just from what's dripped onto the pan, we're gonna add all that in, and we're gonna cook it for 5 minutes just to heat the clams through. Yeah, we're at the finish line now. To add the creaminess to it, we're gonna put in 2 cups of whole milk, turn the heat off, 2 cups of whole milk, 1 cup of heavy cream. Now we're gonna stir it up a little bit, and we wanna warm this through as well, but we do not want it to boil. So you're gonna keep an eye on it. Now before we turn the heat back on a little bit, stir it so it's evenly mixed. Hit it with what you like about how much salt and pepper. We like a good amount of both. About 20 little wrist turns. And then some good flake salt throughout. We're gonna turn it back up just for a little bit. Don't boil it. Then we're gonna serve. Soup's on, nah, not soup. Chowder is on. Anthony Bourdain's chowder. So to a great man, how he would also finish it is with some crushed and regular pilot crackers, and then drizzle a little clarified butter over the top. Now, here is to Mr. Bourdain. Here's to you and all our friends. Keep an eye on everybody's mental health. Take care of each other. The reason why he's a legend is he's a great cook and a great storyteller. Tell some great stories today. Keep an eye on your friends. Spatchcock Funk.